session began with the arrival of Premier Nevis to nominate Farrell Smith and
we have the duty.
Welcome back. I am Bronte Swanston Hendrickson. January went by fast, as it usually does, with a wave of activity here in Nevis. More exciting and memorable is how Premier of Nevis, the Honourable Mark Brantley, described the NIA's plans for 2018 in his New Year address. In 2018, according to the Premier, residents can expect to see the completion of all government projects which have begun.
The long-awaited hospital project will commence in earnest, and the Brownhill Road project will be continued. The construction of TVET centres at our two high schools will begin in the summer of 2018. This will ensure that our Envision students and adults attain their Caribbean Vocational Qualification (CVQ) and become competitive regionally and internationally. The year 2018 will be the year when we will witness the construction of the much-anticipated Newcastle Police Station and the new pier and amenities at Oali Beach.
According to Premier Brantley, who is also the minister responsible for security on Nevis, the Nevis Island administration pledged to redouble its efforts in fighting crime for 2018.
We will double our budgetary support for the police officers residing on Nevis, and we will ensure that these officers have proper access to training and are equipped with modern crime-fighting tools. We will see an improvement in our crime-fighting capacity with the construction of a state-of-the-art CCTV room at the Charlestown Police Station, and as part of the federal CCTV project, cameras will be installed across the length and breadth of the island of Nevis. In the year ahead, we will, as a government, have national conversations and open dialogue with our youth and devise structures which will engender positive beliefs and values in them. My government is fully committed to finding a way to re-establish in our youth the need for non-violent responses to their grievances, misunderstandings, and disagreements. This task will require the unprecedented efforts of all major institutions, the family, the schools, the church, and all other community organizations. In the year ahead, you can be confident that the Nevis Island administration will leave no stone unturned, nor any chapters unread, in slaying the dragon of crime and violence.
January 4th saw the Cabinet of Ministers facilitating 2 meetings with officers in the public service, one with permanent secretaries and a similar meeting with heads of departments and other senior civil servants. The purpose of those meetings was to discuss the government's expectations in keeping with the objective of ushering in a new approach and culture of courtesy in the public service. Matters discussed included an active parliament agenda, integrity in public life legislation, social services, the economy, issuing a policy in relation to social media use by public servants, use of government vehicles, and recommendations on capital expenditure.
We're trying to restrain excesses, and particularly on the capital side of the budget, it's important that we have the necessary controls in place. And so we have said, and we'll continue to say, that capital projects in excess of $200,000 must come to the Cabinet for approval. So we no longer want heads or PSs to simply say, go ahead, awarding contracts. If it comes to $200,000 over, we want it to come to the Cabinet. We want to see the details so that we can have an understanding and make a decision in relation to that.
Meantime, the Honourable Spencer Brand, one of 2 new ministers in the NIA cabinet, highlighted 2 concerns: extended sick leave and frequent leave of absence.
Coming from the private sector, in my business and in my field, whether I am sick sometimes, I still have to go to work. I am not saying that if a person is sick, that they ought not to allow themselves to recuperate. But I think that the idea here is to try and discourage us from abusing the the extended sick leave mechanism. And I believe also that the frequent leave of absence is something that is also creating some headache for the government, as persons might be also abusing that mechanism. Like I said, coming from the private sector, I really have to go to work. And I would hope that all of us can begin to appreciate that if you lose 1 or 2 days on the job, it can have a knock-on effect, so to speak, somewhere down the line.
Deputy Premier, the Honorable Alexis Jeffers, in his remarks noted that the discussions should be a turning point in the mode of operation in the Nevis Island administration.
Government should be run in such a way that we are the ambassadors, we are the examples that people look towards, and I believe for the next 5 years, the items that we are going to discuss this afternoon should be the roadmap or the blueprint that we use moving forward to ensure that we have a productive 5 years. I want us to look back to January the 4th and say that these discussions that we have had would have been the turning point in our way of conducting business as a government. And it's not difficult to do. All of us in here have that capacity to do what is right and to do what is good and to work towards something that we are trying to achieve as a government, and that is to ensure that the entire Nevision public are proud of us when we're all said and done 5 years from now and moving forward.
When the Nevis Island Administration's cabinet met with the High Command of the Nevis Division of the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force on January 24th, Premier, the Honorable Mark Brantley, Minister responsible for security on Nevis, expressed the hope that the meeting was the first of several such interactions as the two entities seek to better secure the safety of the island.
Nevis has had the unfortunate occurrence of 2 homicides in the month of January, starting off the year, and in a very bad way for not only the island but for the Federation, for the country. Both have been in the Gingerland area, which is represented by our cabinet colleague, Minister Evelyn. And so we are concerned, we're deeply concerned. We thought that today it was important to convene a meeting with our High Command to indicate to them what our expectations are and to hear from them what efforts are going to be made. We have a duty to the people of Nevis to keep them safe. And that is a duty that we take very seriously, and it's a duty that we will continue to take seriously. And our police have our fullest support, but we also require of them that we get the necessary effort put in so that our people out there can have the necessary confidence that they're safe in their homes, they're safe in their communities. Safety and security has to be one of the most important requirements, one of the most important duties of any government. And this government is going to take that duty very seriously.
A number of distinguished guests, including members of the National Assembly, senior civil servants across St. Kitts and Nevis, and students on the island, turned out on January 30th to witness the opening session of the Nevis Island Assembly, when the oath of allegiance was taken by members of the Nevis Island Assembly. The Honorable Farrell Smithon was, for the second time, elected to be the president of the Nevis Island Assembly. Acting Deputy Governor General, Her Honor Marjorie Morton, delivered the Nevis Island Administration throne speech on the theme, A Future of Opportunities and Optimism.
My government is committed to providing a future of opportunities and optimism through good governance. We must usher in a new culture in our performance and the delivery of service to our people. We must be prepared to embrace change and craft a new direction as we continue to create an environment to nurture and develop the well-being of our people. This environment is a result of foresight and creativity and will focus on 3 broad areas, namely good governance, the economy, and social development. This approach is necessary for the advocacy and demonstration of the mantra, of putting you, the people, first.
As also noted in the throne speech, with increasing demands to attend to public business and with more diverse communities and increasing population, it must be a priority of the Nevis Island Assembly to institute electoral reform.
In this new dispensation, my government shall commence the process to increase the number of constituencies to 7 for the Nevis Island Assembly elections. This will allow your government to better deal with the increasing demands of modern governance. We expect that this process will demand widespread consultation with the opposition and with all stakeholders. But we believe that greater and more effective representation can be achieved by an electoral map and more properly reflects the demands of modern governance.
On January 31st, the International Council of Monuments and Sites, in partnership with the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization UNESCO, held discussions with cabinet members of the Nevis Island administration to begin the process of forming a Charlestown into a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Deputy Premier, the Honorable Alexis Jeffers, who chaired the meeting, expressed his gratitude to former Premier of Nevis, the Honorable Vance Emery, for being involved in the initial stages of aiding Charlestown to be inscribed on the UNESCO World Heritage Site list by 2020.
You know, the former Premier, the Honorable Vance Emery, was very instrumental in having this started, and of course he must have seen some good reason why he would have indicated that we want to pursue Nevis as being considered as a World Heritage Site. I believe the process is advanced at this point in time, but indeed the whole of the Nevis, I'm sure, would be interested and keen in knowing where we are and where we're going and what benefits there are to be derived from this particular designation.
Minister of Culture, the Honorable Eric Evelyn, and Minister of Physical Planning, the Honorable Spencer Brandt, pledged the support of their respective ministries.
Persons who are involved in this project are very enthusiastic, working overtime to ensure that we reach our target of 2020 to have Nevis inscribed as a Charlestown inscribed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. I'm very confident that it will happen. The committee is very confident that it will happen, and I have to say that once again that the committee and all who are involved have the full support of my ministry and the full support of the Nevis Island administration. We are delighted once again to have you, and we are hoping that this visit will be a fruit and we will see the fruits of the labor in 2020, and I'm hoping that we will have a massive celebration when the time comes.
I believe in the end the whole of Nevis will benefit, and it gives us that leg up, so to speak, as one of those unique places. Nevis has always been a unique place, but this would also add that uniqueness to it. So we are certainly delighted to be a part of it.
We're not done yet. Stay tuned as we remind you of a series of firsts and exciting new initiatives which were rolled out by the NIA in February.